My name is Mchugh. I'm from Steele, Alabama. I'm here today to give you a little bit of background on myself and the way I've lived my life for about the past 15 or 20 years. Just to start off with high school, when I was in high school I was a really good athlete. I played football, basketball, and baseball. Excelled in all three sports. Played a little bit of college baseball. That was in 1992. Played college baseball in 1993 and 4. And my life was good until about 2003. I started noticing that the muscles were going away between my thumb and my pointing finger. I was going to a chiropractor at the time, and he noticed it. He advised me to go to a neurologist. So I went to a local neurologist, and he diagnosed me with ALS. He referred me to another doctor. I wound up seeing 4 specialists, all of them giving me the same diagnosis. You have ALS, you need to prepare your family for your death. You won't live more than 2 years. This is 2012, that was 2003. In 2003, my wife had heard of a lady that, a nerve specialist in Trussville, a town close by to where we live, and she advised me that she thought I needed to go see her. So I'd never heard of herbs, or the only herbs I'd ever heard of were people that, you smoked it. That's all I knew. I didn't do it, but I knew that's all I knew. So we pulled up, and we're from both of us from really big Christian families, and we've grown up in the church, and we pulled up in the parking lot of this lady's place in Trussville, and I told my wife if she started some kind of psychic stuff, I was leaving. Well, I get in there not knowing what to expect. And at the time, this was the summer of 2003, I couldn't move my right arm very much. And Rhonda would put an herb in my left hand, and she would pick herself up off the floor on my right arm, I was holding my right arm straight out, and she would pick herself off the floor when she got to the right herb. It just blew my mind, because I couldn't move my arm before I walked in there. And she gave me some herbs to take, and we left from there and went on vacation to the beach. And I noticed by taking some herbs, and the only one I can really remember, the first one taken was alfalfa. And I remember taking it and thinking, we know horses and cows eat this all the time. Here I am taking some alfalfa. So, but it was immediate. It didn't. It just made me feel better. I couldn't immediately move my arms and legs and everything. I wasn't cured, but it was better than I had been. And I went back to see Rhonda about every 3 months for about 2 years, and she would always do that same little test. She would put an herb in my hand, and when she got to the one that I needed, she could do things that I normally couldn't do. And at that time when I was diagnosed, I had an electrical business. Me and my best friend owned an electrical business together, and I couldn't twist the wire nuts anymore. So I sold my part of the business to him, and I went home to the family farm, and we opened up a nursery, a greenhouse nursery business. That went along for a couple of years, and we made it by. We just got by, made enough money just to get by. And in 2007, I was at Rhonda's place one day, and she mentioned something about growing some organic stuff, and I never thought about it before. And I got home and started doing some research on it, and I thought, well, this may not be that hard, and that's going to benefit the health of me and my family, and if we can sell it for a profit, that'll make a little bit of difference. Well, that was in 2007. We got certified organic. We started growing organic plants and organic vegetables in the garden. Whole Foods Market started buying all of our, they bought everything we could grow, basically. So we did pretty good. Also in 2007, we were, me and my families, my wife and 2 boys, we were awarded as one of the top 6 young farm families in the state of Alabama for the year 2007. That was through the Alabama Farmers Federation. That also happened. We were also one of the top 6 in 2009. One of the top 6 outstanding young farm families. And it's all from the first visit, going to see Rhonda the first time, after my life was supposed to be over, after I was not supposed to be here. You know, I had all these awards in sports when I was in high school, but really the things that mattered happened after I got diagnosed with ALS and told I was going to die. You know, I could have sat back and died probably, but I kind of chose not to, and I wanted to see my kids grow up, and I had a bucket list of things I wanted to do before I died that I got to do with my kids, and one of them was to go to Disney World, and one of them was to go back to Hawaii, and it's kind of funny how God works in these situations, because we did get to go to Disney World, and we did get to go to Hawaii, and it didn't cost us a dime. It was from doing, you know, just some things for the community. I'm the Young Farmers Chairman here in the county we live in, and we stayed active in that. We get people to go compete in the same events that we had won, and we got awarded and got sent to Hawaii for a community project that our group did, our Young Farmers group did, at the Big Oak Boys Ranch in Alabama. We did a garden project out there, and not thinking anything about it, we were just planting some plants, and we planted tomatoes and squash and peas and cucumbers and things like that, and just to kind of offset the cost of the food for the kids that live out at the ranch. And that got turned into the National Farm Bureau as a Community Project Award, and we won the #1 community project in the country. That was in 2011. And they sent us to Hawaii to display our project, but we mainly just handed out pamphlets in Hawaii for the Big Oak Boys Ranch, which is a great organization. If you don't know anything about it, you can go to bigoakranch.org. It's a home for children needing a chance. It's basically it's what they do. But another thing that I'm really involved in is the Alabama Farmers Federation. Maybe in your state, if you don't live in Alabama, it's called the National Farm Bureau. But the Alabama Farmers Federation is a big part of my life. We not only have our counties, but we have a state board, and we have all kind of people that keep up with legislative ideas and keep up with what's going on in the legislature. And we try to keep farming from being banned in Alabama. That's our main goal. And I encourage anybody that is concerned about their food, if you're worried about your food coming from Korea or China or Mexico or somewhere where chemicals can be put in it that we can't raise them in Alabama with, you need to join the Farmers Federation. And you can go to any Alpha office in the state. You don't have to have Alpha insurance to be a member of the Alabama Farmers Federation. You can go pay your $30 membership fee. It's good for a year. And it comes with all kind of incentives on discounts from hotel rooms, discount on cars. You'll get your $30 back within a month. But you know, I've spoken on a lot of things that have happened, but none of it would have happened if it wasn't in God's plan for me to be sitting here today. Because ALS is a serious disease that there's no cure for, but there's also no way of really telling you you have it. They just rule out every other neurological disease and say, well, you have ALS. And they pretty much leave it at that. And I know people that I've spoken to on the phone or have come to see me and want to know what I do, and they've passed away from having the disease. The only reason I can say that I'm still here is because God still has a reason for me to be here. Just like today, we're sitting at the Big Oak Girls Ranch. We do all of our spare time is spent usually at one of these ranches doing something to help out either some of the house parents will watch some of their kids, or when they can go do something, or we're also resource parents for a couple of the kids at the ranch. They'll come out and stay at our house for a weekend to give their house parents a break from it all. But the one thing I'd really like to say is, if and I didn't realize it at the time, but Alabama is that's where I live. Everybody kind of makes fun of Alabama about the way people talk, and we're kind of backwoods people, and there's a lot of good things in Alabama, and I've mentioned a lot about herbs, and I would encourage you to go see a natural herbalist or a natural doctor if you're diagnosed with any kind of disease. But back to Alabama, the word Alabama is a Native American term that means herb gatherers. just thought I would throw that in there. But as I said earlier, my life did not really, all the awards that I thought were important and all the things I got through sports, all the trophies and everything that I thought was so important when I was younger, none of that compares to what has happened to me since I was diagnosed. And I can still do pretty much anything that I want to do. It might take me a little bit longer, but I'm not confined to a wheelchair. I'm not. The only thing that's really hard for me to do is to tie my shoes. Everything else I can do pretty much anything any normal person does. I'd lost a lot of weight at one time. I've gained some of that back. I'd lost the movement of my arm. I don't know if you can see that in the camera or not, but I can move my arms. I'm not confined to anything. And once I lost something, I was not supposed to get it back. Every specialist I saw told me, once you lose some muscles or you lose the mobility, you're done. And another reason that I know that God is in this with me is the first thing that every one of these doctors told me that I was going to lose is my voice. Since 1994, I've sang in a gospel group. And we've been all over the Southeast singing and bringing people to know the Lord. And I don't think He's finished with me yet. I may not make it out of this chair after this interview, but there's a lot of things that I would still like to do. And my bucket list was almost full. I'd almost done all of it, and so I made another one, but I'm not going to share that with you because it always fails if I tell somebody what I really like to do. It doesn't happen. But I would encourage anybody. I don't care if it's ALS, cancer, whatever, diabetes, anything. I don't care if you're told you got 2 weeks to live. There's not a doctor on this planet that can tell you you're going to be dead in 2 weeks. That's it. And there's not a drug I don't know of that you can take that's going to cure anything. Something might help you feel better and treat the symptoms. And this is just my opinion. I know this is going to go out on the internet or whatever, but in my opinion, if there was a cure for cancer, if there was a cure for diabetes, if there was a cure for any of these big diseases, just a cure for cancer is going to cost, that's going to make a pay cut of about $360 million a year. I just don't see them coming up with a cure for cancer. If it's going to cost a drug company that much money a year, but you can go to these herbalists, these natural doctors, and in my case, and then in all the people that I know, it has really helped. I could talk for hours about all this, but what I do now, I still take some herbs. I need to go back and see Rhonda again. I started a treatment that was about 2 years ago, a hydrogen peroxide treatment. And you can read about it on the internet, but I would strongly advise you to go see somebody that kind of has some knowledge about it first. I drink 35% food grade hydrogen peroxide mixed with distilled water. You can get a little eyedropper, and it's not very much of it. But with that treatment alone, I know people that have done it that no longer have cancer. I know people that have done it that have not completely, but have done better with their diabetes. And for the last 2 years, that's pretty much all I've taken. And I'm still here. And I coach my kids' basketball teams. I coach my kids' baseball teams, soccer teams, all this stuff that I wasn't supposed to do. I can still do it. You can think I'm crazy or whatever, but I'm here for a reason. And that reason is to share my story with people, just to give a little bit of hope, and to let you know there is a just because you were diagnosed with something doesn't mean you have to sit back and say, well, this is it. You know, that's up to you. It's not up to the doctor. It's between you and God. And whether you believe in Him or not, He has a plan for your life. And as long as you do what He's leading you to do, I believe that all things are possible. I guess that's all.
How can they get in touch with you?
You can get in touch with me at Rob Mchugh on Facebook. It's Rob Mchugh / let's see, what is mine? Rob Mchugh, RMCHUGH 31 at yahoo.com. That's my email address. I do have a Facebook page. Gulf Creek Farms would be the best. It's Gulf Creek Farms / Facebook. That's our farm. And you can contact me in those two ways, and I will get back to you as soon as I can.
All righty. And of course, they can go to rhondadial.com if they want to contact Rhonda. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.